Today I watched a tutorial about eyeshadow placement and how to open your eye if it's droopy or you've got hooded eyes. I will be demonstrating what I learned today using the IT Cosmetics Naturally Pretty palette and the e.l.f. Bite Size Quad in Love You Latte. Okay, so here I'm just applying the lightest shade on my lid and under my brow, not in the crease. That was the first thing I learned. Okay, so now we're taking a lighter shade, not the lightest shade, but a light shade, and applying it above the crease. Normally, I would put the shadow right in the crease and start working with it that way. But nope, not for this experiment. We are staying above the crease. So I have had to dip this brush in that color several times to try to get the payout I was looking for. And it wasn't the eyeshadow's fault. It was two things, the brush and the primer. The primer was too stiff and it was causing the shadow to skip. And the brush just wasn't the right density to pick up and lay down the color. Just taking a look at the difference here. So what I finally ended up doing was going to a slightly different shade, slightly darker, slightly different hue to see if I could improve it so I wouldn't have to keep going back and forth. So that's the color I chose from the e.l.f. palette and started moving it around a little bit. The type of brush that you use for placement, I think, if you have the right one, will save you a lot of time in constantly dipping and applying and dipping and applying, and then of course getting it in the right placement. So learned a lot about brushes today and about using the right primer, which wasn't really something I gave any thought, being a non-makeup artist, looking at the difference there. Okay, so I am about to go into the crease, so I picked up a darker color and I'm placing it right there in the crease, about a quarter of the way, guessing about a quarter of the way into the eye, and then applying the color straight down on the corner of the lid. So the placement here is key in keeping that eye open. The straight up and down motion versus side to side does have a subtle effect on how it appears on the eye, so that was very interesting to me as well. The angle in which I'm applying this might make it hard to see what I'm doing, but when I move on to the other eye, it'll be easier to tell. Okay, here is where I switched brushes. Apparently that brush in the crease wasn't doing the trick, so I picked up a different brush, hoping it would be more effective. I think it was slightly better, but not awesome. So, memo to self, if I want to do this right, I need good brushes. So I continue to work away at this. It's taking a lot longer than it probably should, and some of it has to do with my lack of skill. But the other part is obviously the brushes. Analyzing to see if I have the desired effect. Okay, the next step is to put a shimmer color down on the lid. I didn't have a shimmer color right in front of me, so I used this Hello Light. I'm pretty sure that this shade is going to make those eyes pop just like any shimmer would, definitely. And this brush I'm using was perfect to apply that color. So I am now just blending so that there's no harsh lines and it looks semi-natural. I went off camera and put my eyeliner and mascara on and then came back to work on the second eye. And you see the difference between the two eyes and how they look? Okay, so this eye is going to be more sped up. I was attempting to recreate the other side, try to get it as close to the first try. But there will be a little better angle here to show you what I was doing. Going in above that crease again with that light muted shade, hoping to color match the other eye since I did have to blend. I think I did pretty okay with this one. It wasn't so dramatic that I had a lot of trouble. All right, here is the crease work again. So it's much closer to where you can see better. Right there in the crease, about a quarter of a way in. I think I might have overextended the color on this one and had to make a correction. It seems like I had to do that, but it still turned out okay. So there I am, crease and then straight down. Now I'm about to go in and blend, get rid of those harsh lines. I slowed it down here because I wanted to see what it looked like with my eyes cast downward. I think it looks pretty good for a beginner. Looks like I'm doing a little more blending. I did work on this really a long time. Looking forward to being more speedy and more efficient. A little closer look till we move on to the next thing. What I'm doing here is I just took a brightening contour powder and just lifted my outer corner a little bit. I used Almay dark brown 24-hour liner here. I tight lined it from the outer corner to just before the tear duct, so not quite all the way under the entire eye. And then I smudged it out a little bit so it wouldn't be quite so dark under there. You just used a Q-tip to do that. Another look. And then I'm just going to apply my mascara really quickly. I decided I was happy enough with it to move on for the day. So I hope this was helpful, and thanks for watching.